Hey fellow problem solvers, Colfax Math here. Today we're looking at Chapter 6, Introduction to Algebra in our Math Test Success course. 25 videos free online. There's an accompanying book you could follow along with. I haven't quite got it published and out yet, so I'd make sure you just have a notebook out. Pause the video, do the problems before I do them, take some notes. The act of actually writing stuff down really makes it stick in your memory. So the whole goal of this course is to prepare you for any standardized math test, specifically the ASVAB military placement exam, but on any standardized math test. These are really foundational skills to get you back in the game. So from after this course, you kind of go wherever you would like in math, whether you're going back to community college, getting a contractor's license, applying for the military. This is a standardized basic math course to get you up to speed. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 6, Introduction to Algebra. It might seem a little easy and redundant. There might be some pieces you remember from back in school, some you don't. Feel free to just kind of tap through it and go faster if you want, but these are going to be the building blocks for algebra. A lot of vocabulary that's really important to understand. Okay, so there's really two things in algebra. One are variables and the other are constants. And really all a variable is, even though it sounds intimidating, is if I have something plus 5 and I know that is going to be equal to 20, what is that something? That's all a variable is. I don't know what it is, so I assign a variable to it, usually a letter like x. And then now that I have something plus 5 equals 20, it's easier to see that this is equal to 15. So a variable is something I don't know. It's usually represented with a letter. And then this is a constant. A constant's a fixed value. It's not going to change. Numbers are your most common constants. All right, let's take a look at a couple sample problems here. Identify the variables and constants in the following. So in this first one right here, pause the video, just run through it quickly in your head. The 5, the 2, the -9 are the constants. A and B are the variables. Right here, don't look at the answer. 12x squared plus 4x minus 6. The 12, the 4, the -6 are the constants. And then x squared and x, it is the same variable. Here it is being squared times itself, and here it's individual. Identify the variables and constants in this expression. The 7, the 3, the -10 are the constants, the numbers. Y and z are the variables. This is a big idea as well. This is an expression. It is not equal to anything. If I have x plus 2x plus 3, that is an expression. I can't do whatever I want to both sides of the equation because there is no equation. So this is an expression versus x plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 9. This is an equation, meaning this is equal to this. So all you could ever really do in an expression, you can't ever solve for x. You could just combine similar terms. So here in this expression, you'd say I have 1x plus 2 more x's plus 3. Well, these are similar terms. So I'm not even going to say equals. I'm just going to say if I were combining similar terms, this would be 3x's plus 3. Again, this is an expression. And this is an equation. So in this equation, the directions would be solve for x. In this expression, the directions would be combine similar terms. So in the equation, solving for x, I do similar things. I combine my similar things. X plus 2x is 3x, plus 3 is equal to 9. The goal in solving an equation is to get that variable by itself. So I subtract 3 from both sides, the reverse operation of addition. That gives me 3x. My 3's cancel. 9 minus 3 is 6. I divide both sides by 3. This is being multiplied 3 times x. The reverse operation is division. I divide the left side off to have to divide the right side. These cancel. X is equal to 6 over 3, or x is equal to 2. There is an answer here. I have solved the equation. Here in the expression, all I've done is combine similar terms. Okay, writing and evaluating algebraic expressions. So right here, here are some examples where I have expressions. There's no equal sign. This is 2x plus 3, 4a squared minus 5b. Here I have two variables, a and b. That first variable is being squared, multiplied by itself. Important to note order of operations here. You're always going to do PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, in that order. So you're going to have to remember to do the exponent before the multiplication. This right here, y plus 1, the quantity y plus 1, is also the same thing as the quantity y plus 1 over 2 divided by 2. This is the square root of z. That is my variable. And then there are words that go along with all of these mathematical notations. The words you usually see for addition is sum, plus, increase by, more than. Words for subtraction are the difference, minus, decrease by, less than. Multiplication and product mean the same thing. So if you see the word product, it means to multiply. Let's take a look at some of these practice problems here. What we want to do on these practice problems here is convert these sentences into mathematical expressions. So pause the video and do these 6. Unpause the video and watch how I do. Let n represent the number of apples. Write an expression for the number of apples plus 5. Let x represent a student's score on a test. Write an expression for twice the student's test score. Again, none of these are equations. These are all expressions because there's no equal sign. But we're doing these first, and then we're going to move on to solving equations. Write an algebraic expression for the sum of a number and 7. I don't know what that number is, so I call it x, my variable. Write an algebraic expression for 10 less than a number. Whatever that number is, 100. 100 minus 10 is 90. So this expression would represent 90. The quotient of a number and 3. Quotient means to divide. Problem number 6, a rectangle has a width of w and the length, so this is my length, that is 3 more than the width. Well, this length is 3 more than that, so I just call it my width plus 3. That way I don't have to use two variables. I could have a singular variable w. Write an expression for the length of the rectangle. The length of the rectangle is equal to width plus 3. Okay, here are evaluating some expressions, and then we're going to move on to combining similar terms. Again, this is kind of the groundwork we got to get dialed in before we move into solving equations. Evaluate the expression. So again, still not an equation, no equal signs, when x is equal to 4. That is saying take 4, plug it in where that variable is. So that means I have 3 times x. X is 4 plus 2. I do multiplication before addition. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2, 14. Go ahead and pause the video and do these before I do them. Okay, here we are, number 8. Evaluate the expression y times 2. If they're next to each other, it means multiply. When y is 3, I take that 3, plug it in there. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. Here I have a multivariable expression, more than one variable. When a is 2, 2 times a plus 3 times b, what is b? Well, b is 5. I do my multiplication before addition. 4 plus 15 is 19. Evaluate the expression x times 12, 3 times 12 plus 4, 36 plus 4 is 40. And then our last one, evaluate the expression when y is 7. So I have 5 times 7 minus 2. Remember, you got to do parentheses before multiplication. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Again, pause the video, do these combining similar terms, combining like terms. On number 12 here, I have 4x plus 2 more of these things minus one of these things. So I got 4 of these things plus 2 more of them, 6. 6 of these things are my variable x. 6x minus 1x is 5x. Simplify the expression 3y plus 5 minus y plus 2. Here I have to combine my variables. I have 3 of these minus 1 of them. So I have 2y. And then I have 5 plus 2, 7. Let me move it up for problem 14. So problem 14, simplify the expression. Again, we're not looking at equations. We're just combining similar terms without it equals. Multivariable expression, 6a and 3a is 9a. 5b minus 2b is 3b. 7 times 2, let's get these together, 14 plus 3x minus 2 times 2, 3x minus 4 plus x. All right, so I multiply those together, Negative times a positive is a negative. Now I'm going to combine similar terms. 3x and x is 4x. 14 minus 4 is 10. This one's a little trickier here on number 16 because I have to distribute that 4 through the quantity. So I have to do 4 times m first. 4m plus 4 times 2, 8. Minus that 3m plus 5. Now I could combine my similar terms. 4m minus 3m is equal to 1m. 8 plus 5 is 13. All right, word problems with variables. A lot of people have a tough time with this, including myself. It's just hard to take these sentences and convert them into mathematical expressions. John has P pencils. Mary has 3 more pencils than John. How many pencils does Mary have? So Mary has the same number of pencils as John plus 3 more. And it kind of, one of the most important parts here is like, what are they asking you for? So how many pencils does Mary have? Number 18, a car travels at r miles per hour. Per means divided by r miles per hour. How far will it travel in 4 hours? Write an expression. So I'm going to multiply that by 4 hours. Here I could see my hours cancel. 4 times r times miles. So it is going to be equal to 4r miles. And that's asking how far will it travel. It's looking for a distance here. Last one here, a store sells S dollars and pants for P dollars. How much does it cost to buy 2 shirts, whatever they cost, and plus 1 pair of pants? So the price of the shirt times 2 plus pants. All right, let's go ahead and take our test right here. Test on the introduction of variables and expressions before we move on. Again, pause the video. Do the test before I do it. Make sure you have your notebook out. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. Go ahead and hit that notification button so you get the next chapter of the video as soon as I get it out. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and buy the book whenever I get around to getting that thing published. Okay, number 1, define what is a variable. A variable is usually a letter to represent an unknown. What is a constant? A constant is usually a number and it's known and it doesn't change. Okay, problem number 2, translate the following phrase to an algebraic expression. The product, that means multiply, of 7 and a number, the product of 7 and a number decreased by 5, use the variable x to represent the unknown. It's kind of tricky. I mean, turning that into that. Let me double check it. The product, meaning multiply, of 7 and a number, here it tells you, I don't know what it is, so let's call it x, decreased by 5. So that's it. Evaluate this expression here. A is equal to 3, that goes right there. B is equal to -2. So I have 2 times that A, 3 times that 2. So 2 times 3 times 2 minus 3 times -2. Then kind of stacked up like that. It's a little tricky. 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 2, 12. Minus times a minus makes a positive, plus 6, and that's equal to 18. Simplify the following expression. Again, that's just going to be combining similar terms. There are no constants, only variables, but they're 2 different variables. So I have 5x minus 2x is 3x. 3y plus 7y is 10y. Nothing else I could do. That's as simplified as it goes. Number 5, combine the like terms in the expression. I have 8m plus 6m minus 1m, 14 minus 1, 13m. Let's take a look at the ends now. On the end side of things, I have -4n plus 6n, -4n plus 9n, I might have said 6, -4n plus 9n is going to give me positive 5n. These two things are different. They cannot be combined. Number 6, write an expression for a rectangle. It has a length of w plus 5 and a width of w. Write an expression for the perimeter of the rectangle. So let me just double check I got this right. It has a length of w plus 5 and a width of w. I do. Perimeter means the length around the outside, so it's this plus the other side, which will be the same, plus this. So now I got to add all these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4w plus 5 plus 5 plus 10. Okay, let's move on to number 7. Let's move this thing up a little bit. Substitution. Find the value of the expression if p is equal to 4. So I take that 4, I plug it in there and there. 3 times 4 minus 2 plus 5 times 4. Got to do my parentheses first. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So this is equal to 6 plus 20, which is 26. Word problem to an expression. Sarah has $D. John has 3 times as much money as Sarah. Write an expression for the total amount of money they have together. So John has 3 times whatever Sarah has. Sarah has $D. So together they have John's money 3D plus Sarah's money 1D to give you an answer of 4D. Simplify and evaluate the expression. X is equal to a negative number, -1. Take that -1, I plug it in here. I have 4. 2 times -1 is -2. -2 plus 1 is -1. Minus 3 times x. X is -1. This thing right here is -4. Negative is positive plus 3 gives me -1. Lastly, multivariables, simplify the expression. These are a little tricky. One trick on this one right here is that Multiplication is commutative, meaning that 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2. The order doesn't matter. So why that's important here is here I have A times B and B times A, but they are the same thing. So I have 6AB plus 4. I could change the order here, 4AB. 6AB plus 4AB is 10AB. Negative 2A minus 3A is negative 5A. And lastly, I have that B. That B right there is 5B. I cannot combine terms that are not the same. These terms are the same if I change the order, and I can do that because multiplication is commutative. All right, it might have been a little slow chapter for you, but these are really essential skills before we move on to equations, which will be chapter 7, the next video, the next chapter in the book. If you have any questions at all, please post them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Again, my whole goal for this course, Math Test Success, is that if you have some holes in your math education, you forgot a lot of it never made sense, you moved around, it was broken, this course puts you back in the game so you could kind of undertake any future math class once you have all these foundational skills solidified. All right, thank you for watching.